Hello. I'm going to do what I intend to be a fairly short video, although you'll probably have to pause and write down a couple notes, so it may be a little bit longer than that. A short video on converting metric units. Today specifically I'm going to talk about a one-step conversion problem. We'll probably look at some two-step conversion problems at the end of tomorrow's class. Here we have on your screen, you see here, and you do want to go ahead and you can even pause the video and write this down, but you do want to get this down in your notes. It's going to be very important that you have this written down because we will be using it a lot. You'll get to use this on your quiz that we'll have, I think maybe on Monday. You'll also get to use this on upcoming conversion test, because I'm not necessarily concerned about you memorizing the prefixes as much as just being able to use them to convert. We discussed scientific notation yesterday in class. The conversion problems are a lot easier because I'm not going to allow you to use a calculator. They're so much easier if you do them without a calculator. So for when you write this down, you may even want to change it. See, I have 100 sent a blank equals 1 blank. Well, instead of 100, you can cross that out and put 10 to the second. It might be kind of a light color. I'm going to change to red so you can see it a little better. But again, instead of 100, it's 10 to the second. 1,000 would be 10 to the, remember, if you're still a little lost from me today, you're going to move this over. Apparently I chose orange. I chose orange again, so here we go. I think this is red. So if I'm right here, then I need to move the decimal place over 1, 2, 3 times to get the number 1. 1.000 is the same as 1. So it's I moved it 3 times, so it's 1 times 10 to the, I moved it 3 times to the left, so it started out as a big number, making it 1,000, or to the third. And of course, this right here is actually, we usually just don't even write the 1, right? If I have any number I can multiply, I can always say 1 times 10 and get 10. 1 times 500 and get 500. So we kind of just even drop off the 1 times and we just get 10 to the third. This one's going to be 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, so 10 to the 6, and you can do the rest on your own. But again, this will make it a little bit easier for you. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video right now. You should pause as well and take down this into your notes and try to go ahead and convert those into scientific notation. All right, so hopefully you have those down. Again, let me talk about these. Well, let me talk about these blanks here, I guess, first. And these blanks can be filled with any unit, any base unit in the metric system. So notice how the units which use base 10 prefixes. This is a prefix. This would be the base unit. Prefixes go before the real word. So this is prefix. This is the base. And what that means is we are going to be putting some kind of unit in here. You could put any type of unit. I did not put any unit in here because I want you to understand that you can put any unit in these blanks as long as you put the same unit on both sides. A meter is a type of base unit. So we could put decimeters here. And it's true that 10 decimeters equals 1 meter. Down here, I could even put seconds. Seconds is the type of unit. Centiseconds. I'm going to abbreviate it. Equals 1 second. Okay. I'm going to put farads here. Yeah, that's a real unit. You're on the internet. Look up. You can look up what it is. Farads. Microjoules. So one of the things here that we can do, we can put any base unit into this, which is why I'm leaving it blank. That's why I didn't put anything into your notes, because I want you to understand that you can put any unit on any problem into there, but we'd have to erase it every time, because if we did, let's say we converted microjoules one time, but now we got to convert microliters, then you would have to go back and erase and then write in liter into both of them, and it's still true. So know that the prefixes are separate than the bases. They go together. I guess they go together, but you can put any base you want to next to any prefix. Okay, let's move on. So these are all prefixes that are less, they're smaller. So, you know, if you have micrometers, that's going to be really small compared to a meter. Everybody knows how big a meter is. Well, nanometers are even smaller. Picometers are insanely small. You can't even imagine how small a picometer is. So these are the prefixes that are smaller, but there are also prefixes that are bigger. And there's only 3 of these. You may be familiar with these when we talk about memory storage, right? Used to, you'd have these floppy disks that had a couple of kilobytes of information. And then we've got megabytes. Your phone definitely has gigabytes of data that can hold gigabytes of memory. Go ahead, you probably already, some of you may have already know what the next one is. I actually have a hard drive that's 1 terabyte. Now, I'm not really concerned about tera. You don't really have to add that to your notes, but still, and it could follow the same pattern. This is 10 to the 3rd. This is 10 to the 6th. This is 10 to the 9th. And again, I'm not just counting zeros. It is the number of zeros, but I'm actually moving the decimal over in my mind. So that's 6 times, is 9 times. This would be down here, 10 to the 12th. And there's even one above that, a petabyte. P-E-T-A, and this is, probably within your lifetimes, you're going to see petabyte drives, which is insane to think about. This would be 10 to the 15th. But again, I'm not really concerned about these down here, so you don't really have to add those to your notes. I just want you to see that these actually do go on. You can look up on Wikipedia. There's some really weird ones like Yada and Yiddy and Zeta and Ziddy, all kinds of weird ones out there. But again, make sure you get these down in your notes. I'm going to pause and give you a moment to do that. Alright, so hopefully you have these down. Again, these are the ones that are bigger. So if you have a megameter, that's going to be really big. A giga, and Back to the Future talk about they say a gigawatt, but it's a gigawatt. A gigawatt is a lot of watts, which is the units of energy. So they're saying, or excuse me, it's units of power. So there's a lot of power there, is I guess what they're saying in that movie. But you have these down. So now that we have these down, let's actually talk about how to convert. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, so here we go. Now, when we talk about actually converting, let's talk about the purpose of converting. When you convert two things, they should be the same before and after. They are the exact same. They look different, though. They definitely look different. They sound different, but they are the same. If I say I'm going to pay you $3... Alright, I had to make a slight edit. I hope that this worked out. If something messed up, though, I will hopefully get it fixed. But anyways, okay, yeah, I think we're good. So let's say we had this conversion here. I don't know if my little thing about dollars got in there, so I'll say it real quick. Of course, when we convert, it should be the same. If I pay you $7.80, that is the same as 780 cents. Those things are equivalent. So when we convert things, we're not actually changing the thing itself. All we are doing is changing how it looks. So when we convert, and again, this is the first video I think some of you have seen, so make sure you're taking notes along with it. But when we convert, the first thing I'm going to do, again, you're taking steps, maybe this is the first step you want to write down. The first thing I'm going to do is change the number into scientific notation. So I have 450. Well, I know from today's lesson, 450 centimeters, if I start out with this, when I want to change it, I've got to go over 2 times to get 4.5. That's between 1 and 10. So I have 4.5 times 10 to the, I moved it twice, and it started out as a big number, so it's positive 2. So this is the first step. I have that in scientific notation. The next thing I'm going to do is just put it over 1. When we put it over 1, we're saying divide by 1, which of course doesn't change it. I'm just putting it like this so it looks a little nicer. Next step, put a division sign and that's a multiplication sign. Put a multiplication sign and another division bar. Now, when we do these in class, this is the step you want to get caught on if I pull your card, because it's the easiest one, I guess. Next, this is always going to be true. Whatever unit is up here in the top, we are going to put in the bottom down here. So not numbers. I'm not putting 450. Sometimes students do that. I'm only putting the unit that's in the top down here. And I see that this video is actually going to be longer than I meant, but again, this is probably going to be one of the most important videos I make in a while, so I'm willing to take a little bit extra time on it. Centimeters goes down here. So down here in the bottom, I'm putting centimeters. Now I need to look up, now I'm going to put a number here, and I need to look up what number goes beside centa. So maybe I forgot, maybe I need to go back and check, so let's go back for a second. Centa. Okay, here's centa. Notice that the number on the left Everybody always wants to look over here. Don't look over here. Look on the left of centa. So always right there, left, left, left. So on the left of centa is the number 100. Of course, if you wrote your notes correctly, it probably says 10 to the second, which is better. So that's what I'm actually going to write, 10 to the second. So 10 to the second is on the left of centa. Let me go back to centa. So here you see centa. On the left of it, I'm going to write 10 to the second. On top, let me go back and see what was on the other side. Okay, notice that here I have 1 and there's a blank here. I need to put a unit, remember, no naked numbers. So I got to put a unit here whenever I write this out. Well, my unit, my base prefix over here was centa blank. Well, if I look back, I don't have time, but it says centimeter. So I'm going to put centimeter. So on this side it's 1 and I'm saying blank, so same word, meter. So when I go back over here, I'm going to put 1 on top, on the other side I should say. So on the other side I'm going to put 1 and I'm going to put just meter by itself. Now I'm ready to actually do the math and solve the problem. I know probably a lot of you have forgotten how to multiply fractions, which is a shame because it's actually pretty easy to do. If I have 2/3
London Watkins, Savannah Vance,
times
Michael Rupp,
3/2,
Willie Robertson, and Alex Ramsey, come to the office.
The way this works is a lot of times people think that it's like, oh, I need to cross multiply. Well, but that's not it at all. You just multiply across the top and across the bottom. Like you literally, like 2 times 3 on top over 2 times 3. It really is that easy. People think it's difficult, but that is how easy it is. And of course, this would simplify to 1. But there's a trick over here. If I have something in the top and the bottom, notice I have 3 in the top, 3 in the bottom, they can actually cancel each other. Because basically what's going to happen is this literally means 2 times 3 divided by 3. Okay, well, times 3 divided by 3 is sort of redundant. It's like saying I'm going to give you $5, but I got to take $5 too. Okay, well, what's the point? So if you see this, you can actually cancel these out. This 3 and that 3 would cancel each other. Right? Okay, if you're an astute student, what else do you see? You got 2 and a 2. Well, those will cancel too. 1 and 1. So then you multiply across the top, you just get a 1. You multiply across the bottom, you just get a 1. You get 1 over 1, which of course is also 1. So my point in showing you this is, let me actually erase this real quick and then I'll show you. Oh, dang it, I got the wrong eraser. That's better. Alright, back to here. Well, what do you see that's in the top and bottom over here? Oh, I just realized I did something incorrectly. Pretend this says meters. It hasn't made a difference at all, but we're going to say it says meters. Okay, and I'm running out of time, so I got to rush myself a little bit. So now, what do you see that's in the top and bottom over here? Well, actually, you probably see those 10 to the seconds, and those can absolutely cancel. Yeah, no problem. They can cancel. Or you could say later, okay, you see what's going to happen. But there's another thing. Okay, the 1s. If you want to cancel the 1s, it won't really make a difference because canceling 1 doesn't really do anything, but you can absolutely. But there's still something else. Remember, units are super important. In fact, when we do converting, units are more important than numbers. I see I've got centimeters in top, centimeters in bottom. I can actually cancel those centimeters, and they're gone. Which means that if I multiply everything on top, I just have 4.5 left. 4.5 over, well, there's nothing on the bottom. You put 1 if you want to, but it's not really important. So I just get 4.5, and then look at the only unit left is meters. That's it. That's the answer. So I know this system seems really strange because probably a lot of you are just like, okay, move it over too. But it gets more complex when we have more complex conversions, and this way will always work. Let me do one more super quick. I may not even have time to do it, so I'll do it really fast. And then, well, what would be best if you tried it on your own, and then you got the same thing as me. So let's do 50 kilometers to meters. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to start out with 5 times 10 to the first kilometers. Okay, right now, you should pause the video, try it for yourself, see if you can get the same answer as me. All right, over 1, times sign, division sign. That unit goes in the bottom. I'm going to look up kilo, don't have time to go back, but it says 1. 1 is on, okay, I got to do it because people mess up otherwise. Look at kilo. On the left, always on the left is 1. Don't think 1,000, even though that is true that goes with it. 1 goes next to this. 1,000 goes on top. And then these will cancel. I don't see anything that cancels out, so I multiply across the top. 5 times 10 to the 10 to the first times 10 to the third is 10 to the fourth. Okay, so I ran out. I've got 5 seconds left. Thank you for watching the video. Hopefully this is helpful.